So, people, now it's part 3, right? It is Spider-Man No Way Home. Jon Watts returns, and so do writers Chris McKenna and Erik Sommers, which is great. You know what I mean? Producing the film, obviously, Kevin Feige, Amy Pascal. We have got Chris Bunginoro and Mitchell Bell as co-producers. Victoria Alonso, Avi Arad, Luis D'Espitio, Rachel O'Connor, Joanne Pertinano, Matt Tolamash executive produced the project, with Emily Fong and David H. Venghorst Jr. right as associate producers. Okay, Mauro Fior is on cinematography this time, and Michael Giacchino is once more scoring the joint. Right? We have Lee Folsom Boyd and Jeffrey Ford editing the piece. Sarah Finn, man, once again, she kills it with the casting, you know? Darren Gifford is production design. Right? Samantha Avelia, Francis Lynn Labar, Christine Maloney, David Scott, and Brian Stoltz handle art direction. Rosemary Brandenburg is set decoration. Right, we have Sonia Milkovich Hayes on costume design, wardrobe. Just some of the people, right, on hair and makeup. We have Maurice Bowman, Kate Connolly, Bridget Creeder, Sheikah Daly, Deirdre Dixon, Yvonne Eagle, Linda D. Flowers, Lane Friedman, Sean Janifer, James Caladaris, Donald McInnes, Anne Morgan, Tim Muir, Rachel Spick, Ursula Stephen, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's a few of the incredible people handling that. And with stunts, again, there's so many people. But once again, George Cottle takes care of stunt coordination. This time, though, assisting him is Colin Follenwider, right? And on our fight coordination, we have got Jackson Spidell, right? So yeah, that's just a few of the people bringing all of this together. You get me? Now, our cast, right? Tom Holland once more is Peter Parker, Spider-Man. Marissa Tomei is Aunt May, right? Then we've got oh my gosh, I don't even know what's wrong with me. Zendaya as Michelle Jane Watson, MJ. All right. We got Jacob Balatone as Ned Leeds, Pete's best friend. All right. John Favreau's Happy Hogan. You know what I mean? And we have got Doctor Strange in this one, right? So that's Benedict Cumberbatch. So on top of all of these, well, I mean, as well, right? We have Tony Revolori as Flash Thompson. We have Agora Rice as Betty Bryant. Hannibal Beers as Coach Wilson, Martin Starr as Mr. Harrington, JB Smoove as Mr. Dell. Right, they are all back. Oh, Ned's mum, right? He's well, I don't know. That might be his grandmother, Lola, right? That's Mary Rivera. So she plays that. And yeah, we got Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock because Spidey needs a lawyer. You know what I mean? Now, on top of all of this, right? Tobey Maguire is back and Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, Peter Parker's. You know what I mean? Which is just like, yo. So if they're back, Willem Dafoe as Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin, Alfred Molina as Dr. Otto Octavius, aka Doc Ock, and Max Dillon Electro, played by Jamie Foxx. Yes. Right? Jeez. Oh my gosh. Aaron Mayad is Agent Cleary. We have Paula Newsome as the MIT Assistant Vice Chancellor. You know? J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson. Oh yeah, Rhys Ifans as Dr. Kirk Connors, the Lizard. I nearly forgot Rhys. Sorry. And Flint Marko, Sandman, Thomas Haden Church. Yo, also both incredible, right? Both incredible. Who else do we have? Gary Weeks is Agent Foster. Gregory Kunu is the donut shop boss. And Carol Dines is the other donut shop waitress. They both work with MJ. Yeah, I think that's our main group, right? Oh, J. Jonah Jameson's lackey at the Bugle is played by Robert Mitchell Owenby, you know? So, yeah, that's our main group, right? So, what's this one about? Well, Peter Parker's secret identity is revealed to the entire world. Desperate for help, Peter turns to Doctor Strange to make the world forget that he is Spider-Man. The spell goes horribly wrong and shatters the multiverse, bringing in monstrous villains that could destroy the world. Oh my gosh, right? Oh my gosh, this film, it's been a minute, right? It's been a minute, but this film, I think I went to the cinema twice for this, you know, because it was just so friggin' good. And it holds up so well. I mean, all of these films did, right? But the fact that emotionally, it still hits. It still hits. Is just a testament to how good this film is. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, I remember after Far From Home, and then the big revelation in that, you're just like, oh my God, what are they going to do, right? How do you resolve this? Because, you know, they've done it in the comics different ways. They've all been a bit goofy, right? He made the deal with the devil, you know what I mean? There was the spider totem. Like, there's been so many different things. And yeah, you kind of be like, you know, I don't know. And because of there's been so many different ways, right? That means there's so many different potential things for them to mine for the film, right? but it's also the opportunity to really nail it. And I think there'd been talk, you'd heard rumors coming into this that, oh, this person might be in it, and and you're just like, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. So I remember going to watch it, and we do get Garfield and Maguire back, and you're just like, oh my god. And then you get Marco, you get Octavius, you get Connors, right? You get Osborn. And it's just like, oh my god. Oh my god. This is, whoa. You know what I mean? And it's just, it was so good, right? But like, it starts, and because, you know, you basically pick up from how the second film ends. You know what I mean? Like, now everyone knows. And the fact that he was just with MJ, right? So it's not like you can go, you know, she doesn't know, right? So, yeah, he's now got to save her, but it's like, you know, it makes sense because obviously with cameras everywhere, they're going to know where he went. They're going to track him, you know, just because, you know, you got people tracking Spider-Man just on the general. So now this news has dropped. It's like, yo. So then, you know, the police come, they take him and everyone, which I'd forgotten. Right? And then you have Daredevil turn up. Well, Matt Murdock, should I say. So all of the beginning is just like, you're, boy, you know? And it's just like, with everything that went down, wait, we're trying to blame Spidey for that shit? You know what I mean? It's craziness. But I just love the way in the donut shop, right, in the coffee place, because the Halloween stuff is up, that is the thing that makes him go, oh, I know Doctor Strange, don't I? Right? So we have him go there. All of that happens. I'd forgotten Strange blipped and Wong was the Sorcerer Supreme. You know what I mean? There's just so many things that because that was 5 years ago. Which, again, like, it feels bonkers, right? That it's been so long. You know what I mean? Since. But we did have the actors, you know, the whole strikes and everything that, you know, obviously slowed things down and all of this jazz. So, yeah, you know, that adds to timelines. Because there was just a 2-year gap between, you know, the other films. So we then have the whole, you know, the Doctor Strange thing. And I think what is really great about these, because that whole Doctor Strange, you know, that initial thing, the initial fuckeries, that's typical Peter. Because it's just like, yo, I want everyone to, can we make everyone forget? And he's just like, oh, no. But look, can we, MJ remember? Oh, yeah, and I can't, you know, have Ned not remember. He's my best friend, like Ned, yeah. And then my aunt, because, you know, she just went through so much. And it's just like him trying to do the right thing all the time. But there's some times where, look, compromises have to be made. But Peter, that's just Peter Parker, right? So it's just that evolution of the character, you know what I mean? But staying true to who this character is, right? That's what this, that's everything. That's everything about this film, you know? And we do have that growth. But I think the bit where Peter could just send everyone back, but that means everyone goes back to death, right? Or the, you know, as like Ox, like, oh, I was just fighting you. You know what I mean? And so was Shocker, and so they are from those moments. So when they go back, they die, and he can't do it, which is kind of crazy, right? You just think they're not part of your world. You don't know these people, but he's still thinking, "Yo, I can't have people die, right? I can't have these deaths on my hands." So he's trying his best to fix things, which then leads to all the other things. But it's, just the whole MIT thing, you know? Just the whole MIT thing really, again, summed up who Peter is. Right? Racing to try and help Ned and MJ. And then when she's like, "Oh, and are you too?" And she's like, No. This wasn't for me. This is for my friends. Right? It's like these moments are just golden. They are just golden, you know? But I think having Garfield and Maguire in this as well could have cluttered this film up, right? Could have made it a hot mess, but whoa, you know what I mean? I'm just like, what McKenna and Sommers did with this was phenomenal. Right? It was phenomenal because I think there's so many layers to it, right? Because I think a lot of people look at the two Garfield films as being possibly just the weakest of the lot. I mean, don't get me wrong, Spider-Man 3 was just all over the place. But he says it, the villains in those two films wasn't anything, incredible. Shocker was good. But the Rhino, it wasn't, groundbreaking. But the whole self-talk, the whole "you are amazing," right, just works on so many levels, right? So we have that. But also, when you think about, he couldn't save his girl, right? He couldn't save her. And it's just slipped my mind who the fuck it was again, which is just, oh man. Jeez. Oh man, I had it and it's gone. But he couldn't save her. So the bit where he grabs MJ is just so cathartic for him. You know what I mean? It's just this great moment, right? Because we have that redemption for him as a person, and also for his Spider-Man as a whole, because his Spider-Man in this film is so great. You know what I mean? And then also Tobey Maguire, because the third film is kind of, and everyone knows, he knows it, everyone knows it. And so in this one, it's just like, yo, I found my place, man. I'm content. Yeah, it's just these beautiful moments. All right, these beautiful moments cement this. Just even the whole, hey, I'm not used to fighting as a team. I'm solo. He's like, I do. I was in the Avengers. And they're like, that's incredible. Who are the Avengers? Right? It's just, wait, are they a band? Are you in a band? Right? This is just golden. This is just great interaction. This is incredible writing. This really is. It makes you smile. All of these moments make you smile. which is good because Jesus Christ. The Aunt May bit, I remember in the cinema, the first time I watched this, what a gut punch that was. Because you're not expecting it. You know what I mean? We're not expecting that. Right? And I guess it's because there's no Uncle Ben moment. Right? There's not been one of those in this. But you're kind of on the thought process of, because we're not doing the origin. Right? So we don't need it. So when the Aunt May thing happens, and also it's the delayed effect as well, it kicks you in the ass. Right? Also because there's the whole selfless thing of, Peter, are you okay? Look, you did the right thing with great power. Just all of that. And it was just so well done. Marissa Tomei just sold that. Oh, she sold it like it was. Oh boy. You know what I mean? It was phenomenal. It was so heart-wrenching. Man, I was just choking up watching that shit. Again. And that's the thing, right? That's why you know a film is good. When those emotional beats continue to hit. Even when you know. Right? You know this thing happens. And it still messes you up. Right? Still messes you up. So it's that. And the choice at the end. The choice at the end? Again, you know this gets made. And he doesn't have to suggest it, because Strange isn't thinking about it. Right? Like, Strange is thinking, what else can I do? What other things can fix this? And so when he's like, yo, just do the thing, innit? Oh boy. Because you know he knows what this means. Right? Because at the beginning, that's the choice. And it's just like, I can't do this thing. Right? So he's had this time to ruminate, this time to think. But also remember, throughout this film, MJ has held him down. Right? MJ has held him down. MJ is like, yo, you can do this. You got this. You're making the right choices. When, you know, after Aunt May, MJ is there. Right? And Ned too. Right? They're helping. So he's, you know, he always knew what he had. But even more so, right? Even more so with everything that they bring to him and the support they are giving him, he still makes the final sacrifice, right? The ultimate sacrifice. Maybe not the ultimate. I guess the ultimate would be death, right? But essentially it is. You know what I mean? It's an emotional death. And that moment, boy, that's like the uppercut, right? You're on the ropes. You've taken a beating. And then you just hit with that fucking uppercut like Francis Ngannou and Alistair Overeem. You know? Oh, boy. I ain't even gonna lie, right? Aunt May, I was, you know what I mean? I was a little blurry. This just, man, my face was running, right? My face was motherfucking running. It was oh man, it just hits you that this is an incredible conclusion to what Jon Watts started. Right? What he did with this film, it was just phenomenal. Right? Just the impact, right? The connective tissue, the emotional growth, right? The emotional connection to these films just grew with each one. And this final film from Jon Watts, right? No Way Home. It just envelops you. Right? You are just so involved with these characters. Just, oh man. Like, just all the elements here. Right? We get these little upgrades to the suits, which are superb. Right? The graphic effects. Because, you know, remembering, right, Spider-Man 2 and you know, Spider-Man 3 with Sandman, right? We have Doc Ock, we have Spider-Man, we have Shaw. They, in those films, they looked great. I mean, you can look back and the special effects don't quite hold up, but they're still fucking good. Don't get me wrong. But you can see, you know, little bits and bobs. But in this, oh man, all of that gets polished up, right? So, you know, just those are phenomenal, right? The whole, like, Doctor Strange sequence when he's running away and there's all of that was fantastic, right? So all of that, the cloak and just that, man, whoo, right? The magic, the runes, the sky, like all of the effects are superb. But it's just, you know, it's the acting, it's the writing that resonates so much, right? Like these journeys people were on throughout this film, right? The character journeys, right? With Doctor Strange, because at the beginning, you know, it's like, just we've been through a lot. Call me Steven, and then he fucks up, and then it's just like, nah, right? It's you call me Doctor Strange, bitch. But then at the end, it's like, call me Steven, man. Because there's things where you look at and you go, the practical way to conclude this, right? The practical way to fix this issue is this. So the notion of fixing people, the notion of curing them, it just feels like, nah, it's not the way to go. But the fact that he saw Peter striving for this thing and getting it done, you know what I mean? You could see how Strange is now looking at Pete in this whole new way. So when he's just like, call me Steven, it's just another emotional layer, you know? Like, man, there are not, and it's hard calling this a trilogy, like not even because you know there's the full film, but you always knew there would be something else, right? To kind of go, oh, how do we fix this thing? Like you kind of knew there would be another, but if you look at this as a trilogy, because it's Jon Watts, right? It's the 3 films Jon Watts stars. There are not many incredible trilogies. You know? There's not many incredible trilogies. Right? You can look at Linklaters before. Right? Those are 3 magnificent films. But what other 3 good trilogies are? I mean, if you look at the I can't remember the first Indiana Jones film, right? Temple of Doom and The Last Crusade. If you look at those just as a trilogy, they're pretty great. I mean, but then we have two stinkers after that, right? But what others? The Guardians of the Galaxy, the first film is phenomenal. The last film is, that's just another one of those emotional sucker punches. That one was so great. The second film is decent, but it's like, it's the weakest of the three. The Christmas special is fucking great though, right? So there's those, like the Blade trilogy, it's only 1 and 2. Blade 3 is not good. Right? The Alien films, only the first 2. Right? So how many other great trilogies are there? Now, I probably missed some, but those are the ones that come to mind. So looking at what Jon Watts did with these, it's just phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And it really cements just cements Spider-Man, right? Who he is as a character. Because it's always trying to look after the you know what I mean? The downtrodden, right? Being selfless. That's Spider-Man. And that's why people love Spider-Man so much. Because he's not the most powerful, right? You've got... And the thing with DC characters, a lot of them, they do come across as uber powerful, right? They come across as gods, right? It is the thing that separates DC from Marvel, right? A lot of Marvel characters are more down to earth. They feel more grounded, right? I mean, there is Thor, right? But you have Daredevil, right? Luke Cage, right? Jessica Jones, these characters too. Even people like Star-Lord and stuff, right? Not all powerful. And Spider-Man is there for the neighborhood, right? As it says in the title, man. That's who he is, the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And so, this film, it just solidifies all of that stuff, right? Helping the MIT person. Even though, they screwed him, MJ and Ned over. But it's still there, right? Trying to help. You know what I mean? Lizard, Shocker, right? Ock, Goblin, Sandman. Even after everything else. You know what I mean? Like, it's just this repeated thing he does. And the way it's done, it's not, like, cringy. You know? They've done it in a way that works for the character, that works logically, and is so layered. So man, people, No Way Home, it was great the very first time, and it is still tremendous. And although this has been an emotional roller coaster, I cannot wait for Brand New Day.